NANI? Oh my god.
Is a universal sound, but it does a lot more than just entertain. You know, hip hop educates, hip hop motivates. It's the voice of a generation, and every generation finds a voice in hip hop. And this new generation is no different. Atlanta artist Lil Baby has really stepped up to the plate. He's got a new song he penned in the middle of all this.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Core Ring. I don't know if you were watching over the weekend, but Fortnite decided to get woke, and it's been interesting to watch because the Epic Games owned company, Tim Sweeney, they've all basically been against kind of politics and gaming. They've been against, speaking out as a company, choosing sides politically, and so on and so forth. But for whatever reason, now with for the second time in as many weeks, Fortnite has decided they want to make some kind of statement. If we go back to just June 21st, Epic removed police cars from Fortnite because they are being, quote, sensitive to current events. Epic Games is apparently trying to navigate through some difficult cultural waters. Gamers report that Epic has removed all police cars from Fortnite as in the game's latest update, and the Wall Street Journal understands that it was in response to BLM protests. The developer wasn't trying to make a statement, according to Wall Street Journal source. Rather, it was trying to be sensitive about the issue players are dealing with. Well, I mean, it's definitely making a statement. I don't really know any other way you could possibly interpret that. Again, it's their game. They can do it. But I don't understand what this solves, what this prevents. In fact, the removal only creates more division, I think, because you're going to have people on one side who support it and people on the other side who don't support it. And then you have people like me who think it's just stupid in general. Like, they can do it, but it's not going to stop or change any minds or do anything other than create a bit of free press, which Fortnite really doesn't need. The broader games industry has endorsed the cause, including a message in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, temporary shutdowns of GTA Online and Red Dead Online. Epic appears to be taking a milder approach with Fortnite, acknowledging the outrage without explicitly advocating for a cause. The company previously stressed that it wouldn't ban players for political speech. Well, that goes both ways, though. And see, this whole thing is a slippery slope. Like, everyone can get behind that, but what happens when Fortnite starts airing, Donald Trump press conferences or something like that? Is that going to be okay? It's just, it's a video game. People log into that for escapism. Now, this is also the latest example of challenges game studios face when addressing politics. Here's a very simple thing you can do. And I'm going to give you this information. I'm going to give you this tip for free, games industry. Just don't. You make video games, people play those games to relax, to unplug, to get away from things. They don't want it. Literally nobody wants this in the game. But nonetheless, Fortnite decided they were going to host a discussion of race in America, broadcasting all day on the 4th of July, hosted by clown Van Jones and second clown Jamel Hill, Elaine Welthroth, I don't know who that is, and Killer Mike, he's generally pretty solid. He's really the only one I'm super familiar with. Jamel Hill has always been a clown, and Van Jones is a clown and always has been. This is the king of the nothing burgers. Remember all that? And so they picked at least two absolute morons. I don't know anything about these other two, but nonetheless, on Saturday, Epic Games will host a discussion about race. Yes, that's exactly what everyone wants in their video games. They want their 8-year-olds to put things aside and have tough discussions on race as controlled by mainstream media, of course. I don't really know any other way to describe this as basically projecting propaganda on players. I don't believe people like Jamel Hill and Van Jones are capable of being honest. They are not capable of being unbiased. They both work for propaganda machines in the mainstream media. I don't care which side of the aisle it's on. It has extreme bias. It also does not belong in video games. In partnership with Marketing from the from Opus United. The event will be hosted by author and commentator Van Jones. Yeah, I wrote a fanfic 4 years ago too. You can call me an author. Guests will include Jamel Hill, Clown, Elaine, and the other people we talked about. The event will be rebroadcast in game for 24 hours through the July 4th day. So basically, it's like literally like 1984 propaganda, just like blasting in on the children of Fortnite because reasons. According to a news release issued today, the event is titled We the People, and it will feature a series of conversations and that advance the dialogue around race in America. Jamel Hill and Van Jones are incapable of doing that. With prominent BIPOC people, that's Black Indigenous People of Color, of course. I call them Americans, but whatever. Voices in business, sports, media, music, and entertainment. It will be available inside the Party Royale mode, which held a debut concert in May. Now, I think the concert thing, that's a cool idea. That's a good use of the technology. That's, an interesting, entertainment. Again, the video game is for entertainment. I know it's crazy. It's crazy to think about, but of course. How did this work? How did this turn out? Well, let's just take a quick look at how this turned out, because in game you could say Lamau, they really thought they could just project their propaganda into the living rooms of gamer kids. Let's just go up here and get to here's Van Jones. Yeah, what you're seeing there is players throwing tomatoes at the screen, right next to the movie screen. There is a vending machine with infinite tomatoes, and this is exactly what I would expect to happen. Here you go. Gamers win yet again. Bro, they are actually throwing tomatoes. PS4 share. Somebody just lost their job. So let me get this straight. Donald Mustard, you guys arranged a very informational video about Black Lives Matter to be shown in Fortnite, but you put a vending machine with infinite tomatoes beside it? My entire lobby were... Wait, where's this? Yeah, with infinite tomatoes. My entire lobby were throwing them at the screen the whole time. Yeah. I mean, it couldn't possibly be because nobody wants that crap in their video games. It couldn't possibly be that. I mean, no, they were just, a bunch of evil... gamer kids that don't like brown people, because that's how it's going to get spread, and it's already started. You're seeing some of these like smaller outlets, like there's no way that Kotaku, that some chump at Kotaku and Polygon, these journals are like soaking wet, just ready to write about how evil gamers are. You could see this article: Fortnite players throw tomatoes at in-game anti-racism video. It's whatever. Okay. Fortnite players reacted negatively to an attempt to educate them about racism in America. It's unclear what actions Epic will take to deal with this kind of behavior in their game. Deal with it? I mean, what do you want? They were making their opinions heard. That's how I would word it, right? They didn't like it. They didn't like having, news clown Van Jones from CNN projected onto their screen. I'm sure parents didn't care for it. If parents wanted their kids to watch CNN, a frank conversation about race, they could sit them down and watch that, not have it in the game. The BLM movement has become a global phenomenon. Yeah, I wonder why. In a matter of months following everything that we already talked about. When We the People decided to come to Fortnite, I saw it as an attempt to bring the discussion to an audience that needed to hear it. A younger audience that may have become desensitized to internet meanness and could use a solid reminder of what it does to people. And you can see it's not even meant to be entertaining, and the fact that kids like him can't understand that this event was a serious event makes me furious. Yeah, you're furious that an 8-year-old kid who plays a cartoon FPS game about building, towers is maybe not into your hardcore news, your propaganda projecting in it. Who could imagine? I'm not mad at him because of his opinion. I'm mad because all these kids not knowing what the true meaning of the event is. None of these kids wanted it. I don't know how it could be any more clear to you. He goes on to say, although I'm duly disappointed to hear that some players use this as an excuse to indulge in their own bad behavior, I cannot say that I'm especially surprised. Racism, sometimes disguised as crass humor is a serious problem on the internet. Yes, jokes on the internet is a serious problem. It shows how terrible some communities are, even with the thinnest veil of anonymity to protect them. Additionally, it's unclear why Epic failed to see how leaving the ability to interact negatively with the podcast would backfire. Yeah, stupid Epic Games allowing their players to voice their opinions. They should just sit there and shut up and watch it. Here's what they should just do, right? Just make them watch the video uninterrupted before they get to play their video game. That's what this writer would have wanted, obviously. This is, of course, exactly what you would expect from this. It's ridiculous. No matter how wholesome or good you might agree the message is, cramming it into Fortnite and expecting kids to who don't want to watch that to watch it and not interact negatively is absurd. Pick a different avenue to pump your propaganda, I'm guessing, would be probably how I'd go about it. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk. Oh, here. Yeah, wait. They put a BLM in Fortnite video and the player started throwing tomatoes at the screen because vending machine was right next to it with infinite tomatoes. I mean, I love it. I just absolutely love it. Imagine putting a BLM video in a game full of 9-year-olds and expecting them to understand LMAO. Redditors aren't human. Imagine calling the cops as your own parents just because they went to church. You have all sorts of. Oh wait, that's a different thread. Sorry. What a mess. Nonetheless, hope you enjoyed it. I want the dev, whoever the dev is that snuck that vending machine in there. Pretty based of you. Appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.